Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some Mono Red Fling. I'm doing a lot of my filming before I take off to MagicCon Vegas, where I will work the Ultimate Guard booth with all the rock bands and stuff, which will be very fun and exciting. But I went to Riftbound. I tried to do some recording, was running into some issues, and I just ran out of time. We left at 4 in the morning, so I wasn't quite able to do that because we had a 9-hour drive. So we left at 4, got there really late. I was pretty tired, slept 12 hours straight in a hotel, woke up, and then had a pretty awesome con. It was pretty fun. If anybody watching this was there, it was a really fun time. You know, it's exciting. With that, we're going to play Fling. We got a lot of coming up. I'm most likely going to be able to get a video out every day and hopefully get back on track because my busy kind of season is over. We had Apex Con into Riftbound into this MagicCon every weekend, so I've just been slammed with work. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. To be honest, this is probably not a great keep, but we're gonna go ahead and latch it just because I am on the play, and I do have like a 1-drop into a 2-drop into like a 3-drop if I can draw some spells. And mulling for like maybe less lands when we're really not likely to draw anymore, and we're just likely to draw spells feels okay. What's our opponent doing? They play right here. Get him in. Full bore, of course. 3-2 until in turn. If it was warped, haste, but that's not really where we're at. Would assume lessons, right? Okay. Deal. This just like a. I mean, I could full bore this. You see what I hit. I already played my land, which is a little bad tempo play by me, but a bolt wave's nice. Let's set them down pretty low already. I could commit this other full bore, but I feel like that's just bad EV when I can just do it to a slick shot and win the game. So it starts at 1, gets +2, and then the +3 is enough for 6. They're not going to have anything that really gains them life. They can just interact with the board state. Our one creature has menace. They have no lessons online. Sure. And there's a burst lightning, which means we should pretty much have this chalked up about no matter which way it gets cut. Go to combat. Clear them all as attackers. Then less burst lightning Grand. I think. Sure. We just kind of counter that with a full bore, I think. Basically counters this. Maybe the burst lightning and the Grand just doesn't matter, but I don't feel like it's getting countered, so. Now they have to double commit to this. And now it's you answer my board. Honestly, there's probably like a better way to have found lethal there. But with 2 firebending lessons, it felt like my 1/1 was also going to get picked off. So realistically, what was probably going to happen from their perspective is Grand was probably blocking here, which I think does full bore give trample. If it also gains trample and haste only if it's warped though. Okay, so this was going to get blocked by Grand. This was probably going to get hit with a firebending lesson, so we're going to lose it and then our slick shot. But then I guess like on the last one, we end up saving our slick shot. So it could have been just like burst lightning face, then Grand doesn't get to trade anything, it does temporarily block. But that damage at least goes face instead of it kind of getting blocked out. But either way, we win and we'll take it. All right, we're ready to go. I latched onto my hand. I had to go hog ripped her toy open and there was fuzz everywhere. I didn't know what was going on. But we're good now. Dog. Obviously, we check to see if our opponent's going to block or not. Ooh, sure. Just hold up the burst lightning. No real reason to commit it. I could have leveled up, but I'm just not sure that this doesn't get hit by like a shelter by ghost or something. Create a mutagen token. Sure. Kind of just depends what they target here. We hope they target Michelangelo. They saddle here. Okay. This is sorcery. I'm gonna be able to beat the thing that's gonna grow to 3 and then potentially grow to more. So we just take it out there. And now I can kind of attack, level up, and maybe bolt wave them. Leveling up by, you know, putting a counter on higher claw, I guess. Now we're just in the business of flinging, but also the problem is like, is not to get popped. Counter draw, sure. 3, how aggressive will our opponent get? Not aggressive at all. Drawing all these lands also is rather unfortunate for my requirement aggro deck. Goes to 4 toughness, goes to 6 toughness, and we clear both. Well, that worked out pretty well. But they have a full grip, so light or bright steel colossus is a card I think of here. Or what's that card? The artifact from the Glorious Aether Drift, or a Boroid. Another good answer. Really surprised I didn't just throw a chump then there. Bro, these lands are not real. Worst part is we even have our opponent pretty low. The situation at hand, obviously. Not enough. With all these lands drawn and us playing 4 spells, yeah, and we just lose to that. I mean, you win some, you lose some, I guess. If Arena is going to make us in mono red with very low land count just flood, then we're really playing a Magic game, huh? We have 3 lands in this opener. What could be worse? Drawing 5 lands in a row. Who would have? Who would have ever expected? Arena's deciding it's your time to lose. It's deciding it's your time to lose. Blue black. Another tap land. No shock, but just getting hit with the rest. Okay. Here you go. You have 1 card. We could play this, but I would like to get the speed online. It turns out that having speed online does matter a lot of the time, especially with how good it can be whenever the double strike is active. Something like this on that with double strike is 8 damage for 1 mana plus a creature that can attack. Seems like the Doomsday deck most likely, they know about our challengers and are most likely going to try to pick them off. I should just play them in another higher claw and just get active on it. Board wipe at 4 mana is just not really existing. Another duress would be good because it would get our burst lightning, but here's another higher claw. Most likely going to pick off the challenger because it is one of the most progressive creatures on our board, but I could see the burnout bash taunter getting picked. I can't think of the other board wipe. I guess there is like the -2/-2 everything, which could happen, I guess. I think they play that card. Oh, pass here. I think I go for like the triple kind of ping here and then hold the burst lightning. The combat, our burnout will get double strike here, which is very relevant. They're going to end up at 9 here. Then they're staring at a lot of damage. So we're not committing this burst lightning to anything. Sure. Okay. Looking for that 1 mana kind of removal. We will play this back out to kind of force them to do stuff, I think. Or I could just level here. Because we do look at like deadly cover up next turn. And this into this will win if they just deadly cover up now. Or they don't have it. Okay, cool. All right, now we're getting into some of the more explosiveness that we hear from this deck all the time. At least from the receiving end, it feels like. Every time my opponent plots a slick shot, I'm just like, all right, well, I guess that's GG's, huh? So I don't really have to attack into this. Personally, I'll just plot this and just wait. I can play a second one of these, go into this, and then look to kind of do some of this nonsense, I guess. Sure. Yeah. Are you attacking me? They are. If we draw the Fling card, I think the game's over. It's close. Play here, and I guess we just wait. They are already proven that they'll tap out, and the problem if I go slick shot and kind of go in, this attacks and then makes a life linker, which could be a bit of a problem. I would like to just play this a bit slow. They seem to be playing mana that hurts them quite a bit, and they look like they're going to do it intentionally. But that doesn't really matter that much, right? Block. Let's go here. They're trying to pump it to flip it is what they're trying to do, so they will get a 4/4 lifelinker. Road. Okay, so this is actually fine because now they'll do no damage. I've already committed the block. Then now it doesn't hit anything, so they stay at 12. They go for flow state, so they tap out. So right now we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Any spell does it. There we go. So a little bit of tech there to make sure that this doesn't flip and cause a problem for a future turn. It also gave us a mana. Obviously, in a deck like ours where we have so many few lands, what a quote. That's like when you watch somebody cook and they're like on the medium, high, low setting. And you're like, what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so because we play so few lands, getting that little extra deck then out from a card like a road is really nice because it makes it less likely for us to draw a land when we're already playing so few. All right, we go first. Again, finding those kind of impressive hands. Can I just start with a higher claw and play? Of course. Real toxic, just say your go immediately. Team Rip against probably, if I had to guess, this is going to be the pinging deck. Probably see like a voice here. What? Oh, they change? Dude, I haven't been playing, but tell me your boy ain't locked is all I'm saying. Let's go Bolt Wave here. Let's get in. Get in. If they block, we obviously trade it. If we just take it out, they're probably not going to. So it feels right to do maybe like a full bore, just like value a Burst Lightning here. Not sure if they're a Shelter by Ghost deck. If they are, we'll lose that card for the second time today. But, you know, it is what it is. Thankfully, voice allows us to play at our speed when it's fun. One that can like pop and remove something, right? In this. Alright, it deals damage. Okay, sure. Menace plus the higher claw, so we go to combat. We can pop it, but we can always respond. And we'll only do 1 damage here, so it's not like it's doing an oppressive amount. Do we pump our higher claw? I guess not, right? We'll tap them out. Okay, well now it feels pretty good to maybe go for it, but I'm definitely going to protect here and save. But I also get all this damage, right? So we do that. Pump here. Live. Hit them down to 5. And now if I get to combat next turn with this, ooh, that's not good for them. That's all they got. They can't afford to attack. They have to block. But they're just dead here. Kind of tapping out. Kind of gives us all the go. I guess they're just on if you have it, you have it. Which is like bad because it's actively in play. By having it, like, I'll just show you. Higher Call is going to fire. Give this double strike. They're at 4. So this is literally just enough. Board. There we go. Easy peasy. Not actually that easy. It's like those are very kind of tight games. The play matters a billion% in this game, in this matchup. So thankfully we get it there and we move on. I just want to lose to Shelter by Ghost every game. Like, is that where we're at? Force Lightning, maybe. I don't know, dude. I haven't flung a creature one single time, by the way. Isn't that crazy? I think eventually I would be able to cast my card that says, hey, when your creature big, you can throw it. But I do have a very, like, kind of crazy tempo hand. The amount of damage I can pop off next turn. Dragons. Okay. I think it's a situation if we find the Fling guy, it's like so good, right? But I was not really ready for dragons. I have no idea what this damage number is. We can do... It should be the burn hand, I guess. So... can add an additional 5 on top of that to deal 10 to set them to 14. So I'll just pass. And the problem is we do need a creature to, like, be around, right? And this is only attacking. Maybe I could have just used this, maybe. Dragon! I will try to do this. Our speed actually kind of works here a bit. Like if we find a Burst Lightning and we can flip this, it actually gives us double strike. Putting pressure on, sure. Let's flip it now so it dies. If we rip a Burst Lightning, we're good here. Red Ire. That's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's exactly anyway. What a tragic way to lose a game. That sucks, bro. If I'm on their side, I'm tweaking. I am tweaking about that loss. Like, just knowing I play a lot of early removal and I just can't find a dragon to just set in front, like a Clarion Conqueror or something like that, I am molding. For sure. Opponent goes first. I mean, good-ish hand. Okay, well. Set this out and hope they have nothing to just remove it like a Seam Rip. Seam Rip's such a clean answer. It just sucks, dude. Okay, we can kind of convince them that we have something more dangerous. No More Lies might come in. No More Liesing this does make sense, but it's also, like, kind of weird. I don't... Like, I might pop a No More Lies there. It's just, it's so hard to really guess and evaluate what you should do in that spot. Obviously, I don't know their hand. That is, like, a big kind of descriptor to this situation. Like, do you have a board wipe here? No, maybe not. I could just fire a Burst Lightning off to get value since I don't have a Prowess-S creature. So obviously, Slick Shot doesn't have Prowess, but, you know, as the Killer Fiend tax. If I play Ember Heart Challenger, that is like almost absurdly getting countered. And then we don't really get to do much with it. I do think I would much rather leave it as a pressure creature to a board wipe next turn. I have a weird feeling that it's probably going to be more of a Day of Judgment next turn, which makes me kind of want to pump my Higher Claw, but I want to get the damage. Sure. I have a feeling it's Day of Judgment area here. No? Okay. So we do have to remember with like an Ultima, our hand doesn't curve out that well. Or as well as we'd like. This ping is going to give our Astronter double strike. I'm cool with just chipping in damage here. Washi Tong, okay. My opponent loses the game on this. I will deal 14 on one creature. Okay, sick. That's why Menace on the Taunter is so good, and that's why it's so valuable to get that speed started that we talked about kind of at the beginning in one of the matches, where the speed is everything sometimes and the main way we can win a game. For example, if we waited for playing it and we were at 3 speed, we don't win this game probably, because then they probably find some stuff off that Washi. You get to block here for free. This only does 1, maybe 7 if we want to do the same pump, and then try to do something like a Bolt Wave or a Fling if possible, but it's just the speed matters so much. Okay, so the deck of 1-drops, as you can see, this is everything 1 mana that is relevant in the deck, but it is still solid and it's still strong. It's definitely more, in my opinion, a deck I would play if I wanted to be playing like on my phone or something, because it's not necessarily... It is complicated in terms of like the timing can matter a lot, but most of the time the deck doesn't really require like potential later turns. It's more about like when to commit, when to hit the red button. When do you smack the button that says, I'm going to try to win right now? And this is the deck that does that, which makes it a lot easier like to play on the phone. For example, where that last match, our opponent played Washi, right? That's clearly hit the red button, the game's over, right? Or like chip in. Don't give them that value of like, oh, I put my pump spell on there, and they're like, okay, in response, get lost it, so I will effectively remove your creature that was going to do damage to me because I was willing to accept the 1 damage, but not like 7, right? Or 4 or whatever it may be. So what I do is I answer your creature then, and also I counter your pump spell effectively, because now it's not going to do anything to your creature, right? And it's not going to hit me for anymore. So I get to 2-for-1 you. That's what like control decks really need to do. Other than that, you're just going to lose games that you can't control. Like you're going to draw a hand, your opponent's going to play a Shelter by Ghost on a thing, and you're not going to have the Burst Lightning, and you're going to lose. It's just how it is, and sometimes you're not going to fling. I don't think I fling 1 time. You know, it's just the idea that Callous Sellsword can present, or just like the scary thought of, man, if this really hits me for 7, they can just throw it at me and I lose, right? So I have to be very progressive and always hold up mana and always try not to let them get me low enough that just something like a turn inside out with a slick shot is allowed to fling and end the game. So with that, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.